Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to MBA Spotlight. In my opinion, the best digital event about MBA out there. We're really happy to have you all here connected, and we're going to start in a second. Just quickly say hello in a chat, write us where you're from, and we are really glad to have you here in this session. And we're going to have a really great student panel. We have some people with hands-on experience from MBA programs, from the best MBA programs, and I'm really keen to learn from them about how it is actually, how can one handle stress, manage stress during MBA studies. All right. Hey, Botswana, welcome. That's pretty cool. Cool. So let's start. And my name is Olga. I'm GMAT Club moderator, and I'm thrilled to have several students in our panel. And how about guys, you introduce yourself, and I'll just point at someone, and then the next person just passes the word to that further person. So how about Truth? Is it the right pronunciation? Even I guess we have this question quite often. So often will not do an exclusion there.
Sure. Yeah, you got it right. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Hello, everyone. My name is Dhruv Garg. I am originally from India. I recently completed my 2-year full-time MBA program from Emory University, Goizueta Business School. And I, after graduating, would be working with Accenture as a data science consultant. So yeah, super excited to be here and happy to answer any questions y'all have. We'll go with Howard.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Howard. I'm originally from Singapore. I just recently graduated from Tux School of Business Dartmouth 2 weeks ago. I'll be headed to Washington, D.C. and joining BCG as a management consultant. So I'm really happy to be with you guys here today, and really excited to be here with your questions.
Congrats, Howard. Great achievement.
I think that leaves me. So hi, everyone. My name is Luke Sprague. I am a current, well, I guess I'm not a first year anymore, but I'm on my way to being a second year at University of Washington Foster School of Business. I am currently interning with Apple over the summer as in a project management role for the support technologies team. Really excited to be here.
Great. Thanks, everyone, for the short introduction. And I'll start right away with the question. There is like an urban legend that MBA is a time to reflect, to really take time to think of a professional career path. Where would you pivot and have some time with friends and finally have some rest from stress and job altogether? Is this true, or is MBA actually quite stressful? Who would like to pick up this question?
I can start. No, I mean it's not completely true. MBA is easily the most hectic thing that I've done in my life. And honestly, it's nothing to be scared of. It's just more about setting the expectation with which you're sort of starting the program with, and what you want to actually get out of it. And that's pretty much it. It's a tough journey. But then again, if you do it right, the rewards are amazing. They're unbelievable. And I believe that through this MBA program, I have had a transformational experience that I was looking for. So I think it was totally worthwhile.
Howard, how about you?
I think I'll sum up the stress from. I fully agree with what Dhruv has said. There's just so many things happening at the same time, but I would really sum up the stress from two perspectives. One is one comes from the opportunities, and second comes from the expectations. The first thing hey, you know what? Be an investment banker, join tech, go join a pharma. There's so many things for you to understand that you probably hadn't known before. And this opportunity, I think that is the source of stress. You don't know where to go in the first place. You really want to get there. Second is about expectations. And I think it comes from both academics, recruiting, a lot of the things you're doing in MBA. I think a lot of the recruiting stress comes from, you really want to get into a company. Maybe first year you didn't get it. You want to try it again in the second year. You probably already have landed an excellent job in your first year, but you really want to go for the best opportunity there are. So the expectation really comes. So what I'll say is you really want to know, embrace the opportunities and know your expectations. That really help with some of the stress.
Okay, great. Look, how about you? Did you have some time to rest last year?
Not really. It was sort of a nonstop, 12 hours a day situation. But it's so much different than a job. In a job, you've got sort of maybe two priorities that you've got to focus on. You have to hone in on those two priorities for 8 to 10 hours a day. Whereas in the MBA, you are bouncing from thing to learning new experiences. And it's just nonstop information coming at you. So I think, to Dhruv's point, I think that's a great thing. It's an amazing thing and a unique opportunity. I wrote a sticky note and put it on my computer that says, be the sponge. Just be a sponge in this experience. And the second thing I want to just tack on to what Howard said is setting a goal, because a lot of this information can be overwhelming for sure. Recruitment, there's a lot of pressure with that. But really, when you start your MBA experience, write down your North Star goal. What do you want to get out of this experience? And if you ever feel overwhelmed, you can always come back to that, and it'll help you direct your attention to the right places to where you should be going.
Okay, great. Yeah, this was, you kind of stole my next question, which would be, what are the different tools you guys use to manage stress? So I see sticky notes is always a good solution. And prioritizing, I heard from you that it's really important, and not to have FOMO, right? A fear of missing out. Any other tools, anything you think the guys who are starting their MBA this coming autumn or currently applying for joining class of 2024, what should they know prior to joining those programs? Luke, how about, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, since I kind of stole your question in the beginning, I'll just carry on with what I was saying. So Google Calendar is my best friend, for sure. 100%. I schedule social things on Google Calendar. If I'm going golfing with classmates, I put that on my Google Calendar. Everything goes there. So that would be like my number one app. And then the To-Do app on Windows, Windows 10 is actually really a nice app. It's a good to-do list thing. In terms of FOMO, yeah, I mean, there have been many times that I felt that this past year, especially in a virtual environment. And social media does not help. So I have, I would recommend pacing yourself on social media when you see your classmates out and about. Do your own thing. Make sure you're doing what's right for you.
Anything to add, guys?
Absolutely. FOMO is legit in MBA, especially given the class size, right? If you have a small class size, then that can depend. If you have a large class size, then you would almost every week hear someone or the other getting placement, getting good jobs, or hanging out somewhere good. So it just, like Luke said, right? You gotta understand why you're doing this, and keep things at bay. And always, what I used to do was just find one or two confidants, basically people who are there with you through the journey, and just hang on to them, so that even if you feel FOMO, you have actually someone that you can go back to, maybe hang out with them, or just share what you're feeling and things like that. In terms of managing time, I agree to what Luke said as well. Google Calendar is your best friend. Like him, I mean, I'm not in golf, but I did put lunches with friends and whoever I was meeting on my Google Calendar, and it helped me sort out days like anything. Also, one more thing that I did was, I mean, I've changed location, so I can't show you right now, but I had this black cardboard in front of me, and I used to and I had divided that by weeks, so Monday, Tuesday, by days, by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and like up till Sunday. And I used to post notes. So the night before, I used to prepare notes in terms of the things that I need to achieve the next day, and I used to just post it in front of that day, so that I just keep a track of things that I need to cover for that day. I was not always successful, but in some sense, it was helpful to keep a track of things that need to be addressed. So yeah, that's that. And one more thing that I would like to add is what already has been discussed here is that MBA would like literally throw everything at you. There's studies, there's assignments, there's networking, there's coffee chats, there's recruitment. I mean, and then there are social activities, club or whatever. So I mean, like Luke said, prioritize. I think Howard also mentioned it. Prioritize. You would not be able to do everything, so you gotta have to make the peace with the process and just focus on things that are important to you in the moment.
Great. Howard, anything to add from your side?
My time was something that just setting time off within my calendar was something that really gave me a lot of time for introspection and some just an ease from some of the stress. That is the time that I'll be okay. Great. I know you guys might have a party going on. I know you guys might have study sessions going on. This is just my time. I'll just use it for my own. Whatever I want to do. You want to pace yourself, like what Drew was saying. You want to prioritize, and also just tag on to one of your hobbies. For me, it was skiing in winter. Dartmouth is so blessed with the great outdoors and nature, so it was really the skiing season over here. In the summer, it's just basketball and just hanging out with friends. So really trying to latch onto her hobbies would really help with the stress.
Sounds cool. Especially, I see guys, you have such happy faces. It doesn't have something, I cannot compare it with my colleagues who are quite tired after a very stressful work day. So there must be something good about MBA, not only stress. So I guess quite some stuff. My next question would be, what was, or maybe what you expect to be the most stressful thing? Just one thing. Can you name me one thing? What is the most stressful about an MBA?
Go ahead, Drew. Okay.
I can go. So personally for me, and it can vary, for me it was recruitment. When I was recruiting both for internship and full-time combined, I would have easily given interview with 25 different companies, if not more. And for some reason or another, it was just like things for me were not clicking. And that was like, and I used to do mock casing and mock interview practice with my peers and my coaches, and things appeared to be fine. Like I was improving, but somehow it was just not reflecting in my actual interviews. And that process of not able to sort of get things right was super stressful for me. So I mean, just to share in terms of like how I kind of dealt with it was to understand that that sometimes just like many times it's just about luck as well. So you might actually not be doing anything wrong. It's just like one or two words that the interviewer picks up that you said wrong, and the whole opinion is based on those. So it's okay. Trust in the process. It has been well laid out in terms of how to get a job once you get into an MBA college. So trust the process. It will work for you. Just keep at it, and you will achieve success.
Great. Luke, was recruiting also the most stressful part in your journey so far?
Yeah, I was going to add a bonus vote to that, to recruiting, Drew. But I also wanted to mention academics. because it is, especially if you don't come from a business background. I was a psychology major. I took a few business classes, but never really took accounting or finance, and so that was really stressful for me. I know a lot of schools either do non-grade disclosure or grade non-disclosure, or they do keep grades. At Foster, we do have grades, and you have to meet a minimum. But the professors are so much more focused on you learning the material. And so it took me a while to transition to that thought process. I thought I need to get my grades up. But ultimately, if you learn something at the end of the day and you go into it with that mindset, you're actually going to do better, because it's all about being curious. It's all about wanting to just ask questions and learn more, as opposed to getting a mark, right? So that's how it worked for me. And that's how I was able to come out maybe my grades weren't straight A's, but I learned a heck of a lot in my first year.
Howard, then same question to you. What was the most stressful part so far for you? And academics as well, or recruiting as well, or anything else?
I think Dhruv and Luke really covered it, because for me, it was really academics and recruiting. I got my job in my second year recruiting. So, and my background was a non-traditional, and a lot of the things that I had to learn in school, not just academics, but also the whole recruiting process, was completely new to me. So definitely a steep learning curve. There are definitely points that were frustrating, to say the least, but people have been there, able to get an ideal job eventually. So, and I also want to address the point about FOMO. I think there was some questions on the chat about FOMO. FOMO is real. I wouldn't deny that, just especially in our age of social media, when you're just flipping through Instagram, just looking at people having fun. Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but realize that everybody is experiencing their MBA in their own pace and their own ways. So at Tuck, there's a saying that goes, "Your time, your Tuck." And I believe it's the same case for any business school or any MBA program. It's your time and your experience, what you want to achieve out of your MBA, be it introspection, recruiting, time with your loved ones, and making friends. I think it's really up to you to drive what you want to achieve out of the 2 years or 1 year.
Olga, if I could just address one thing about FOMO
Sure.
real quick, because I think Howard made a lot of great points, and that was a real thing for me specifically this last year. And one thing that helped me was, you're going to see your classmates doing a lot of other things, but remember that you're doing things too. So don't compare yourself to what, if your classmates, you're sitting at home watching TV and you need a rest day, but your classmates are out at a bar, and you feel that FOMO and you think, I should be out at that bar. Well, no, you took a rest day for a reason, right? You took a relaxing day for yourself for a reason. So what you're doing personally is important too. And don't think about what everyone else is doing. You're perfectly capable of getting off the couch and going to the bar, but you need that rest day, right? You need time for yourself too. So just really think about what you're doing personally for yourself.
I have a tricky question for you guys to pick up here about FOMO. What was the thing that you canceled in order to get some additional sleep, or pamper yourself, or get some free time? What did you say no to?
Oh, the list is countless. The amount of things that, of course, almost every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, someone is hanging out somewhere. There's pre-game somewhere. People are hanging out in bars. People are doing clubbing. That is the biggest deal of them all. A few of your classmates are always out drinking beers, having food, and to what Luke said, right? It's just whatever you feel is necessary in the moment to help you decompress. Just prioritize. See that there is a bigger purpose at hand here, and that's pretty much it. And to that, I was in some sense lucky that a couple of my friends were in the same boat as I was. still actively recruiting. So we kind of hung out and cried about, oh, look at other people hanging out. So that kind of helped, just casually and in a very friendly manner, pitching over people. So yeah, so just keep it light, keep it peppy, and just find one or two close friends that are in the same boat as you are, and just prioritizing. Basically, that's basically the whole MBA for you. Prioritize and keep your eye on the goal.
Look, Howard, anything to add? What did you miss? Some American football big event or some super cool trip somewhere?
I guess.
Go ahead, Howard. I know you're at a little bit of a delay, but go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry about delay. I mean, Hanover is a little far from any internet. Anyways, yeah, go for it, Luke. Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna go. So this was early on in the program when you want to meet everybody, you want to make friends, and you kind of want that to happen instantly. It's not going to happen instantly. We're also, we were in a virtual setting, so a couple classmates wanted to go on a hike, and I had been working through recruiting and a lot of assignments. And the next morning, we were going to wake up at 5 a.m. I was super excited to hang out with some classmates for the first time in person, and I couldn't sleep. That night, I got about 2 hours of sleep because I was just so overwhelmed by the stress. And I texted them in the morning. I said, "Hey, I'm going to have to skip this. I can't hike on 2 hours of sleep." And it was a really hard decision to make, but something I needed to make for myself. And I ended up having a nice, relaxing day the next day. Helped propel me through the rest of those, through the rest of that month, really. And since then, I've hung out with those classmates a bunch of times. So it's not like a one and done situation. You'll get opportunities to hang with people. Sometimes you got to say no.
That's a fantastic story. Thank you. Howard, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for the lag in the internet over here. I'm definitely with Luke on that. Just taking that time off and for yourself. For me, sleep is underrated. I think I need that 8 hours every day to stay able to think clearly. So for me, that is a set thing. But I think it also it's probably useful to build in some fluidity in your schedules. You don't have to go for every single bar outing with your classmates. Right? I want to take a step back and say, hey, I'm this one out. I'll join you next week, probably 2 weeks after, once I'm done with this big assignment, once I'm done with this major round of done with this super day. Hey, I'll be back and I'll catch up with you guys. I won't miss out.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. That's really helpful, especially for me as the incoming MBA. I'm just writing down. Guys, by the way, the session is being recorded, so you will also be able to access it later on the YouTube channel of GMAT Club. So also, if you can't really make it for any other session, please make sure to come back and take a look on those recordings. And guys, how about the recruiting part? You told me already, basically all of you shared the opinion that this is one of the most stressful parts of the MBA. But how about the fact that many of the students are even not focused in their job search? They come because they came and joined MBA to explore, and they are still uncertain whether they want to join Microsoft and go to a session with the employer in some, sweet short or pretty informal, or they want to join McKinsey Consulting and therefore they need to wear a white short. How would you recommend the students to focus and to somehow, to reduce stress during the recruiting process? Prof, anything about this? Because you brought up the point about the recruiting.
I can take it. Recruitment hands down was the most stressful part. And for me personally, I was actually recruiting for nearly 1.5 years in my 2-year MBA program. I got my final offer in March, so it was a rather long journey. And to your point that like some people are not focused, I was one of them, especially during my internship. I was not sure what I was recruiting for, and I think that was the biggest sort of source of confusion or lack of focus. You know, um, so I was like literally I recruited for everything. I recruited for consulting. I recruited for product management. I recruited for private equity. I recruited for marketing. Oh my god. I did get something in something like in everything just to prove that my effort was worthwhile. But then again, the process was super stressful, and I think that is where if you have a focus, that would be super helpful. Uh, Basically, just trying to understand what is your dream role, what is your dream job, where you want to see yourself, and just having like a very good clarity about what your goal is would help you achieve greater focus. And then from there on, I feel almost every top MBA program has a very assisted process in terms of how you can go about and achieve or sort of prepare for a particular role. So just trust that process. There are peers and there are alums who have followed the journey that you're trying to follow most of the time, until and unless like you're in very niche something like cryptocurrency or something, which is again becoming more popular now. But then again, not many people there. So in that regards, yes, understand what you want, and then that'll help you achieve focus. And then once you have that, I think the process is already pretty much laid out. So yeah.
Luke, how about you? Did you have to jump between several Zoom calls at the same time?
Yeah, and honestly, that was a little bit of a benefit of the virtual world. You could jump from recruiting event to recruiting event. You don't have to walk anywhere. It's pretty nice. Zoom got old after a while, but yeah, that was pretty nice. I think like Drew covered most of like my experience as well. I was sort of uncertain about what I wanted, but just going to many different events and sort of absorbing everything helped in a way, but it was also a lot of information. I guess one thing that's like kind of nice about the MBA experience is your internship doesn't necessarily have to be your full-time job. I've seen people do, an internship in like project management and then go off and be a full-time finance manager in a completely different industry. So that's what the Career Management Center can help you with, right? Identifying where you want to go and where do your skills fit? Because your skills in project management could absolutely fit skills in finance if you're taking the right classes and doing experiential learning. And so you're kind of just slowly building this box of tools and knowledge to take forward. That's what the MBA is. It's a general management degree, right? You're going to know a lot or a little about a lot of things, and then you can start to focus. It's a never-ending journey. So don't think that your internship is going to be the end all be all. It continues on.
Howard, maybe at least you knew quite.
I'll add to Luke's point. Definitely, I think apart from the fact that it's general degree, while you're an MBA, you have an unprecedented access to a lot of people, be it alums, recruiters, your professors, your career services. Make the most out of your time. Talk to people. Get a clear understanding of what you really want to go into. If you could go into product management first before going to finance. If there's a clear pathway, it'll save you a lot of heartache and it'll save you a lot of trouble. So, and you get the clarity by talking to a lot of people, getting a very clear understanding of the day-to-day and trying to push forward in terms of that recruiting process. Just try to get different people's perspective, and that would help not just in your preparations, but also in the interview process.
Fantastic. That's a really good point that you brought up, because I heard many people complaining when they just follow the crowd, because like everyone is recruiting for consulting, and okay, everyone goes to consulting session. And now that we're slowly coming back to the old normal, then one will need to switch the locations. Maybe it's even more stressful. Or everyone wants to go to, Google, so to recruit for tech, and then everyone goes to tech. And it's really hard to maintain your own path and say, okay, I stay focused, and I do what I actually anyway plan to do, and this is something which is not interesting for me. How did you deprioritize? I think that's really important. Were there any like experiences that you made where you said, okay, this I'm definitely not doing? Raf, how about you? I'll start with you.
Sure. So for me, okay, so it was not what I deprioritized. It was more like what I prioritized. And through the recruiting process, basically, like literally applying to every company that I saw a role for on LinkedIn, I applied. But in terms of like the traction that I was getting the traction from the companies that were in analytics space, and the reason for that was because my background when I was back in India was in analytics space. So what I realized was that it would be easier and more fruitful for me to focus on roles that associate themselves with analytics. And analytics is a space that I wanted to work on. It took a process for me to analyze to understand that like my background is super helpful for me even in my MBA, and that is what should I focus on, and then just see that I want analytics, but how can MBA be helpful in that? So maybe it can be marketing analytics role, or it can be analytical consulting, basically the field that I'm going in. So just through that process, I found that, okay, so I'm getting the most traction from the roles that require analytics, and that's what I should sort of go about and choose. So that's my process. That's how I narrowed it down.
Fantastic. Yeah. And Luke, how about you? Was there something which helped you to at least reduce, to shortlist the employers or at least the industries?
Yeah, I think consulting was one of those things that everyone was going for it. Everyone was, or not everyone, I would say. People were pretty good about prioritizing, but I was like, oh, I might as well try for consulting. And if I have sort of a half-baked idea that I want to do consulting, well, that's not the right mindset to go into consulting recruiting with. You have to be 100% committed to that. And so case interviewing was like a full-time on top of academics. And so I decided, well, it goes back to my North Star goal. I want to learn a lot about all the different functions and areas of business, finance, accounting, and all that. So I want to learn from my classes and spend a lot of time there. I also want to kind of explore a little bit and take some time because I know myself. I need to take some time in different areas to kind of learn what I want. And because consulting was from day one practicing case interviewing, I knew that it wasn't for me. I knew that I couldn't put the time and effort in that I needed to in order to succeed there, so I can go succeed in other places and deprioritize consulting. So that was kind of a hard decision, but that's how I thought about it. Like, where do I want to focus my time and effort? What's going to be my biggest chance of success?
This is useful. Howard, anything to add up on that?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the flip side of what Luke was saying. So I went head into consulting at the very first instant. It required 100% dedication. It required a ton of casing. It required a lot of networking and things like that. One added benefit from the consulting recruiting experience was that what you learn during the casing practices and the networking helps with recruiting in other areas too. So, for example, if you're recruiting for corporate strategy functions or general management functions, I think that was tremendously useful. But that does not negate the fact that you have to put in 100% for all the casing, which is really up to you. That's why I think the process of talking to people, understanding if that is something that you've been, just focus 100% on that.
Fantastic. I have another hard question for you guys. You have 4 things: academics, recruiting, party, and sleep. How would you rank those 4? Raf, I see you're ready with the answer.
Oh wow! When you say rank in terms of what? In terms of like necessity, priority, like
Priority.
priority. Oh, yeah, no. Recruitment. Oh, number 1. I can already say sleep was the last. Academics was the third one, and there was one more option, right? Networking. Did you say or
Party. You
Oh yeah,
forgot.
party. Oh yeah, no. Second. Yeah, almost in parallel to recruitment sometimes.
That's fantastic. Guys, Howard, Luke, what do you think?
Partying
Howard,
was a
let's
little
go with
bit.
you.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say partying was a little bit difficult this last year, but so I guess that gives me an out for that one. But my second year, that's going to be interesting to prioritize that. I think. Oh man, I would say recruitment, academics, sleep, party, but all hold a special place in my heart.
Howard, how about you? Does anyone go?
Well, for me,
is anyone going to prioritize the sleep?
I would put sleep as one of my first 2, because my head goes gooey if I don't get enough sleep. But if I have to prepare an interview the next day, gosh, yeah, I'll probably put recruiting first, sleep second. But I couldn't put academics last. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll probably put maybe.
Your professors don't see that session. You could put the academics last.
My professors will see this session. I'll probably put academics third, and probably partying going on and things like that. But I'm going to switch between partying and sleep, depending on the occasion.
Honest. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I also asked this question just for those who are following our session to understand that everyone is building his own list of priorities, his or her own list of priorities, and everyone is eventually, hopefully, happy with his or her own experience. So that's really important to understand for yourself what do you want to prioritize, whether it's sleep, whether it's party, academics, or recruiting. And that's totally all right sometimes to make choices between those, like visibly maybe uncompromisable choices. And as we're heading to the end of our session, and we have lots of viewers who are preparing for the autumn quarter for their incoming MBA students, how would you guys recommend those incoming students to use this summertime to prepare in a way that they reduce the stress during their first quarter? Graf, let's start again from you. With you.
Sure. Okay, so the way I went about it was that I was starting with Goizueta in July 19, and I left my job in January that year. So I had like good 6 months before to start with the program. And the reason for that was that my job back in India was hectic as well. So I just wanted to take some time to build my health because I knew I was going to need it. So that was one of my main priorities, just build my fitness and also travel. So that is sort of what I did. I traveled to France and within India. And also I worked on my fitness and I improved my diet. So those were my focus. One thing in retrospect that I sort of think I should have done was that I knew coming into the business school that consulting was going to be my focus. So just taking, I mean, again, like I say this with a pinch of salt, but there are processes that help you with casing, interviews, and everything. But I found them to be very overwhelming just to catch up onto everything. So just having a bit of idea, like doing a few casing workshops before you start your business school, if you're absolutely sure you want consulting, would be super helpful. So that would be my suggestion in terms of people who are focused on consulting.
Luke, how about you?
So I left my job on August 30th and started school on September 4th. So it was I moved in between there too. So it was a rough start. If I were to go back, I would have done what Drew did and kind of quit 6 months ahead. But I think one thing I would have gone back and done is do a skills-based assessment on like what are my current skills, what are some areas of work that I'd like to be in, and how would those skills match up to that? What do I need to learn to pivot? That was my ultimate goal, was to pivot from what I was currently doing, and it would have allowed me to like explore that more freely without the programmatic approach of the MBA sort of telling me like I need to focus on resume workshops, I need to do interview workshops. So kind of giving yourself some space to explore on your own, under your own sort of circumstances. I think another thing would be to reach out to, if you're coming into school, you've already been accepted and admitted, reach out to people from that school, alumni, saying, hey, I'm going to be joining the class of 2023. What advice do you have? Or just learning from them. Ask them about their careers. Informational interviews are key. And before the work starts stacking up, have those conversations and start building those relationships. Don't be scared of that. Definitely do that. Alumni want to talk to you.
Howard, your advice.
I think Drew and Luke, you pretty much covered all the pretty much everything for the incoming MBAs. I'll add something about transitioning from first year to second year. I think summer is a great time for you to network with the people that you've talked to, especially if you're thinking about second year recruiting. This is a time for you to reconnect, talk to them, and just to share a company, you're creating for a certain function, and you really want to continue the conversation. Summer is a time that people tend to be, there are ebbs and flows in different industries. So summer tends to be a time that people would probably slow down a little. So it's a great time to reach out for coffee chats. Hopefully things will become back in person, or just Zoom calls, short Zoom calls. These would be tremendously useful as you're thinking of recruiting, or just building these networks and connections for your MBA.
Fantastic. So I'm going to quit my job tomorrow then, because I'm also still enrolled. Thank you guys for your advice. And with this, I'm going to wrap up our session. Thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed the conversation, and we really maintained most of the audience, so that's fantastic KPI. And guys, please continue watching the MBA Spotlight. Check out the schedule on the website. Click Remind Me to be reminded of when the session starts. And yes, reach out to us if you have any additional questions. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day wherever you are. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.